I have $1,000 sitting right now, and I'm not putting it in the S&P 500. I'm not putting it in a savings account, and I am definitely not leaving it in cash. Here's exactly what I'm doing instead, and why. Look, $1,000 in a savings account today earns you maybe $40 a year in interest. Meanwhile, inflation is quietly eating 4, 5, 6% of that same money every single year. You're not saving. You're losing. Slowly, silently. And most people have no idea it's happening. I've been in finance for over 2 decades. I've watched people make this exact mistake in 2000, in 2008, and again in 2020. And the ones who came out ahead every single time had one thing in common. They knew where to put their money before the crisis hit, not after. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly, asset by asset, step by step, where I'd put $1,000 today if I was starting from zero. This isn't theory. This is what I'd actually do with my own money. Stay with me. Quick note before we dive in. If you stay until the end of this video, I'll also show you one thing completely outside of investing that's saving thousands of American households up to 100% on their energy bill every month. Totally legal, totally accessible. Stick around. Like the video and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Let me tell you what most people do when they have $1,000 sitting around. Option 1. They leave it in a checking account. Feels safe. Feels responsible. It's neither. Option 2. They throw it into an index fund and forget about it. Not necessarily wrong, but not necessarily right for this moment in history either. Option 3. And this is the one that
Let me show you something that most financial advisors will never put in front of you. $1,000 in January 2020 had a certain purchasing power. That same $1,000 today, sitting in cash, untouched, has the purchasing power of roughly $820. You didn't spend it. You didn't gamble it. You just held it. And quietly, invisibly, $180 was taken from you. That's not an opinion. That's math. That's what cumulative inflation does. And here's what makes it worse. That number is based on the official CPI. The actual cost of living increase for the average American household has been significantly higher. Groceries, rent, insurance, energy, everything that actually matters in your daily life has gone up faster than the government's official numbers suggest. So when someone tells you cash is safe, ask them, safe from what exactly? I have a colleague, smart guy, good job, reads the financial news every day. Back in 2020, when gold was starting its move, he told me, I'm going to wait until things settle down a bit before I buy. Gold went up 25% that year. He waited. In 2021, he said the same thing. In 2022, same thing. He's still waiting. Meanwhile, the people who put even $500 into gold in early 2020 have watched that position more than double. Not because they were smarter, not because they had better information, because they made a decision and acted on it. I'm not telling you this to make you feel rushed. I'm telling you this because paralysis is the single most expensive financial decision most people make, and they never even realize it is a decision. Now, before I show you exactly where I put this money, I want to address the objection I already hear in the comments. $1,000 is not enough to make a real difference. Wrong. Completely wrong. And here's why. $1,000 positioned correctly right now is not about getting rich from $1,000. It's about building the habit, the framework, and the exposure that you'll scale as your financial situation grows. Every serious investor I know started with a position that felt too small. The discipline of starting at any size is worth more than the dollar amount.
Meanwhile, the people who put even $500 into gold in early 2020 have watched that position more than double. Not because they were smarter, not because they had better information, because they made a decision and acted on it. I'm not telling you this to make you feel rushed. I'm telling you this because paralysis is the single most expensive financial decision most people make, and they never even realize it's a decision. Now, before I show you exactly where I'd put this money, I want to address the objection I already hear in the comments.
$1,000 is not enough to make a real difference. Wrong. Completely wrong. And here's why. $1,000 positioned correctly right now is not about getting rich from $1,000. It's about building the habit, the framework, and the exposure that you'll scale as your financial situation grows. Every serious investor I know started with a position that felt too small. The discipline of starting at any size is worth more than the dollar amount. And the second thing, in a world where most people have literally zero exposure to inflation-resistant assets, even a small position puts you ahead of the overwhelming majority. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to start. All right, enough about the problem. Let's talk about the solution, because that's what you actually came here for. I'm going to walk you through exactly how I'd split $1,000 across 4 specific positions. I'll tell you what each one does, why it belongs in the mix right now, and how much of that $1,000 I'd put into each one. No vague advice. No, it depends on your situation. Concrete numbers, concrete reasoning. Let's go.
Here's exactly how I'd split $1,000 right now. 4 positions, specific dollar amounts, and I'll tell you the exact reasoning behind every single number. The largest single position, $350, goes into gold and silver. And before you roll your eyes, hear me out for 60 seconds, because I guarantee you're thinking about this wrong. I'm not buying gold because I think civilization is ending. I'm buying gold because it is the single most proven store of value in human history. And right now, central banks around the world are buying it at a pace not seen in over 55 years. When the institutions that create money start hoarding gold, that is a signal worth paying attention to. You don't need to buy physical bars. I'd put $280 into GLD, the SPDR Gold ETF, and $70 into SLV, the Silver ETF. Both are liquid, both trade like stocks, and both give you direct exposure to the metals without storage fees or logistics. Total cost to get started? As little as 1 share. Fully accessible from any brokerage account. Why 35%? Because in every currency crisis in the last 100 years, Weimar Germany, 1970 stagflation, Venezuela, Argentina, gold was the single asset that preserved purchasing power most consistently. It's not the most exciting position, it's the most important one. Second position, $300 into commodity stocks. And this is the one most people skip, which is exactly why I think it's one of the best opportunities right now.
Commodity stocks are companies that produce real physical things. Energy, copper, agriculture, natural gas. When the dollar weakens and inflation rises, the price of everything these companies sell goes up. Their revenues go up. Their stock prices go up. You benefit twice, from the commodity price increase and from the company's earnings growth. Specifically, I'd look at XLE, the Energy Select Sector ETF, for $150, and DJP, the iPath Bloomberg Commodity Index, for the other $150. This gives you broad commodity exposure across energy, agriculture, and metals without having to pick individual stocks. During the 1970s inflationary period, the closest historical comparison to today, commodity stocks returned over 400%, while the broad market went essentially nowhere for a decade. That's not a guarantee for what's ahead, but it's a data point worth taking seriously. Third position, $250 into real estate investment trusts, REITs. This is probably the most accessible inflation hedge that most people have never seriously considered. Here's the logic. When inflation rises, rents rise. When the dollar weakens, physical property, especially income-generating property, becomes more valuable because it's priced in real-world demand, not in government promises. REITs give you direct ownership in that dynamic without needing to buy a house, deal with tenants, or lock up capital for years. I'd specifically look at RENQ, Vanguard Real Estate ETF, for broad, diversified exposure. It holds over 160 real estate companies across industrial, commercial, residential, and infrastructure. Pays a dividend, liquid as a stock. $250 gets you meaningful exposure.
The key here
is not to think of REITs as a growth play. Think of them as a cash flow hedge, something that generates income that adjusts upward as inflation rises. That's exactly what you want in this environment. Fourth position, and the smallest one intentionally, $100 into Bitcoin. Not crypto broadly, Bitcoin specifically. I keep this at 10% for a very specific reason. Bitcoin is still a volatile, speculative asset. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. But here's what changed recently. BlackRock, Fidelity, and virtually every major institution on Wall Street now holds Bitcoin in client portfolios. That is not a small thing. That means the asset has cleared the credibility threshold for institutional money. And when institutional money moves into something, the price dynamics change permanently. $100 at 10% of this portfolio means if Bitcoin goes to zero, which I don't believe it will, but hypothetically, you've lost $100. That's the cost of a dinner out. But if Bitcoin does what Bitcoin has historically done in the 12 to 18 months following institutional adoption cycles, that $100 position could become $300, $400, or more. Asymmetric risk. Small downside, potentially significant upside. That's why it's in the portfolio, and why it's capped at 10%. Look at those four positions together, and notice what they have in common. Gold, commodities, real estate, Bitcoin. Every single one of them exists outside the direct control of the Federal Reserve. Their supply cannot be expanded by a political decision. Their value is anchored in the real world, in physics, in math, in human need. That's the framework. That's the lens. You're not chasing returns. You're building a wall between your money and the printing press.
Okay, I promised you the mistake that causes people to build this exact portfolio: gold, commodities, REITs, Bitcoin, and still lose money. Here it is. They check it every day. I know that sounds too simple. Bear with me. Here's what happens. Someone puts $1,000 into these four positions. Week 1, gold drops 3%. They panic. They sell the gold. Week 3, Bitcoin drops 12% in a single day. They sell the Bitcoin. Month 2, REITs are flat while the S&P 500 is up 8%. They feel like they're missing out. They sell the REITs and buy an index fund. And just like that, the entire strategy is gone. Not because it didn't work, because they didn't let it work. Here's the thing about inflation hedges that nobody tells you. They don't perform in a straight line. Gold can sit flat for 18 months and then move 30% in 6 weeks. Commodities can underperform for 2 years before they explode. Bitcoin can drop 50% before it doubles. The performance is not linear, and if you judge these positions on a weekly or monthly basis, you will always find a reason to sell. The investors who made money in every inflationary period in history had one discipline that separated them from everyone else. They set a time horizon of at least 18 to 24 months, and they did not touch the portfolio until that time horizon was reached. Not when it dropped, not when something else looked better, not when their neighbor told them about a hot stock. Set it, leave it, review it in 18 months. That's the entire strategy, and it's harder than it sounds. Now, the most common question I get when I present this framework is, what if I need this money before 18 months? And it's a completely fair question. Here's my honest answer.
If you need this $1,000 in the next 6 months, don't invest it. Keep it liquid. In a high-yield savings account. In a money market fund. In short-term T-bills. This framework is not for emergency money. This is for money you genuinely don't need in the short term. The rule I use, and I've used it for over 20 years, is simple. Never invest money you can't afford to leave alone for at least 18 months. If $1,000 is all you have, build a 3-month emergency fund first, then invest. But if you do have $1,000 that you genuinely don't need for a year and a half or more,
Then every day you leave it in a savings account earning 4%, while inflation runs at 5%, you are making a guaranteed losing trade, and you don't even realize it. One more thing before I close, because I know some of you watching this have more than $1,000 to work with, and you're wondering how this scales. The answer is, the framework scales perfectly. The percentages stay the same. $5,000? $350 becomes $1,750 in gold. $300 becomes $1,500 in commodities. The ratios hold. $50,000? Same framework, larger positions. The only thing that changes as the dollar amount grows is that you can start adding individual stocks on top of the ETF layer. Energy producers like Exxon or Chevron. Gold miners like Newmont or Barrick. Agricultural companies with strong pricing power. But for most people starting out, ETFs are the right tool. Low fees, instant diversification, and you can start with as little as $1. The most important thing is not the dollar amount. It's the decision to start building the right framework now, while most people are still debating whether to act at all. Let me leave you with something that took me a long time to understand, and I wish someone had told me earlier in my career.
The difference between the people who protect their wealth and the people who don't is almost never intelligence. It's almost never access to special information. It's almost never timing. It's decision velocity. It's the ability to take what you know right now with the information you have right now and make a move. Not a perfect move, not a complete move, a first move. $1,000 split across 4 inflation hedges is not going to make you rich overnight, but it will do something more important. It will change the way you think about money. Because once you own something that actually responds to the real forces shaping the economy, you start paying attention differently. You start understanding differently. And that understanding compounds just like the assets do. The financial system is changing faster than most people realize. The people who adapt early don't just protect what they have. They position themselves to grow while everyone else is scrambling to catch up. That is the real opportunity here. And it starts with $1,000. Before you go, 3 quick things. First, I promised you at the start of this video that I'd show you something outside of investing that thousands of Americans are using to keep more money in their pockets every single month. It has nothing to do with the stock market. It has nothing to do with crypto. It's about your energy bill, and some households are legally cutting it by up to 100%. The link is in the description below. Takes 2 minutes to look at. Could save you hundreds every month that you can redirect straight into the portfolio we just built. Second, if this video gave you a concrete framework you didn't have before, share it. Not for me, for the person in your life who still has everything in a savings account, earning 4%, while inflation runs circles around them. They need this more than you do. Third, subscribe and hit the bell, because next week I'm going to show you what happens to your 401k